بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. My dear student, good morning to you all. Today, inshallah, we will continue taking our lesson for the third year. My name is teacher Inaz Hdethi. So I hope you have your books, your notebooks, because today we will be having a wonderful story that is dear to us as Muslims, okay? So I hope you have your books at between page 14 and 15. The name of the unit is called Eid Celebration. This is the second lesson, okay? As you remember, or if you could remember, in the previous lesson, we have some words that are full of joy, like gifts, presents, Eid al-Fitr, Eid al-Adha. We talked how Muslims celebrate these holy or sacred occasion. But for example, Eid al-Fitr, they gather, they pray, they give presents. For Eid al-Adha, they sacrifice animals. If we have perhaps going to perform Hajj, and so on. Today, inshallah, we will be talking or covering about Eid al-Adha. Eid al-Adha. So, as I told you, this is Unit 1, Lesson 2, Eid Celebration. Let's start. Bismillah. So, this is the name of the unit, Eid Celebration. And as I told you, or as I mentioned, we'll be talking about Eid al-Adha. Eid al-Adha. Let's start together. Before we start, taking the paragraph you have at page 14, we need to know some opposites, some adjectives, and the opposites of these adjectives because they will be mentioned in the paragraph. Let's start. As you can see here, I have two couches, okay? But they look the same shape, same size, but they are completely different, opposite, okay? The one on the top, it's old. It is old, very good. While we have one that is new. Okay, so let's read them together, please. Old, old, new, new, very good. Let's go to the next one. Also, I have these two. Before, before, after, after, very good. Let's go to the next one. Poor, poor, rich, rich, very good. Let's go to the next one. Sunrise, sunrise, sunset, sunset, very good. And the last one I have is start, start, and the opposite is finish. Okay, let's go through the adjectives one more time. Let's read them together. Old, old, new, new, very good. Before, before, after, after, very good. Poor, poor, rich, rich, very good. Sunrise, sunrise, sunset, sunset. And the last one I have, start, finish, start and finish. Very good. Before we start Eid al-Adha, we need to know the story of Prophet Ibrahim, peace be upon him, Khalilullah. What's the story, or why do we need to talk about his story before we start our lesson? I think you know, but let's try to do that together. By reading Quran, we will understand why do people do what they do at Dhul Hijjah. Why do we sacrifice animals? Why do we throw stones at the pillars? Why do we do all this? To commemorate or to honor the memory of Prophet Ibrahim and his son, Prophet Ismail, and his wife, Hajar, alayha salam. So, let's read some of the verses that we have في بدءا من سورة من آية 99 من آية 100. فبشرناه بغلام حليم فلما بلغ معه السعي قال يا بني إني أرى في المنام أني أذبحك فانظر ماذا ترى قال يا أبت افعل ما تؤمر ستجدني إن شاء الله من الصابرين فلما أسلما وتله للجبين وناديناه أن يا إبراهيم قد صدقت الرؤيا إنا كذلك نجزي المحسنين إن هذا لهو البلاء المبين وفديناه بذبح عظيم وتركنا عليه في الآخرين سلام على إبراهيم إنا كذلك نجزي المحسنين إنه من عبادنا المؤمنين. So after we read these touching verse about Prophet Ibrahim and his son, let's try to, as you can see, most of what people do at Al-Hajj to commemorate or to honor the memory of Prophet Ibrahim and his son Ismail, especially when he sacrificed and when he had to sacrifice his son because he had a dream that and you know that they have to do what the prophets see in their dreams, okay? So when he was about to kill his son, Allah عز وجل أنزل كبش من السماء وفدى سيدنا إسماعيل بذبح بكبش عظيم. So you have this, my dear student, at page 14. It's called Eid al-Adha. I will read it with you. It's a wonderful story. So I hope you have your books. I will start reading it with you. Let's start. Bismillah. Read and answer the questions. Eid al-Adha. Eid al-Adha is one of the two holy celebrations for Muslims all over the world. It's the 10th day of the Hijjah, coming after the day of Arafat. Muslims celebrate it every year to commemorate the Prophet Ibrahim's willingness to sacrifice his son Ismail, obeying Allah's command. After performing Fajr prayer, Muslims wear new clothes and gather to perform Eid prayer at sunrise. Then, families start celebrating and slaughtering animals, sheep, goats, camels, or cows. The sacrificed animal is usually divided into thirds. 1/3 is eaten by family, 1/3 is offered to neighbors and relatives, and the remaining is given to the poor. Muslims wish each other Eid Mubarak, which means have a blessed Eid. Let's read them one more time now together. Eid al-Adha is one of the two holy celebrations for Muslims all over the world. It is the 10th day of the Hijjah, coming after the day of Arafat. Muslims celebrate it every year to commemorate or to recall or show respect, honor the Prophet Ibrahim's willingness to sacrifice his son Ismail, obeying Allah's command. After performing Fajr prayer, Muslims wear new clothes and gather to perform Eid prayer at sunrise. Then, families start celebrating and slaughtering animals, sheep, goats, camels, or cows. The sacrificed animals is usually divided into thirds, 3/3. 1/3 is eaten by a family, 1/3 is offered to neighbors and relatives, and the remaining is given to the poor. Muslims wish each other Eid Mubarak, which means have a blessed Eid. Okay, after we read this paragraphs or this two paragraphs, let's go to page 15 and answer some of the questions we have. So, as you can see, this is what we have at page 15. Questions. Question 1. Mark right for the true sentences and put an X for the false one. Let's read number 1. There are 3 celebrations for Muslims every year. 3 celebrations. What do you think, my dear student? Is this a true sentence? Do we have 3 celebrations? Yes or no? What do you think? No, we just have 2 celebrations, Eid al-Fitr and Eid al-Adha. So this sentence is not correct. It's a false one. Number 2. The sacrificed animals is usually divided into 4 parts. So after we slaughter a camel, a cow, a sheep, we divide them into 4 parts. Do you think this is true? No, actually it's not correct because we divide it into 3 parts. Give one to relatives, neighbors, one to the poor, and one for ourselves. So it's not correct. Very good. Number 3. Muslims sacrifice animal to recall Prophet Ibrahim obedience to Allah. Do you think this is correct? Do we do this to commemorate or to show respect to Prophet Ibrahim? That's right. Yes, that's why we do this. That's why we sacrifice an animal at Eid al-Adha. Okay, that was for questions at exercise A. Let's go to exercise B. For exercise B, from the underlined words, find the opposite of. In the paragraph, you will find 5 words. Okay, they are underlined with a line under it. So let's try to have the opposite. Old. What do you think is the opposite of old? We show some pictures, if you could remember, a couch, an old couch, and new. Very good. New couch. Excellent. Okay. Next one I have is rich. Someone who has a lot of money. What do you think? What's the opposite? It's poor. Very good. It is poor. Excellent. Okay. Third word here I have is finish. Finish. Very good. So finish is the words. What's the opposite? It's start. Very good. It is start. Excellent. The fourth word here I have is sunset. When the sun goes down. Okay. Sunset, the opposite of this, the opposite of sun is sunrise. Very good. It is sunrise. And the last word here I have before. The opposite is after. Very good. The opposite is after. So let's read the words together. Old, new, rich, poor, finish, start, sunset, sunrise, before, after. Very good. Let's go to the next part we have. For the next part, we will have something that's called punctuation. Punctuations are very important in English, and I will explain in a minute why is that. As you can see, I have a question mark, a comma, a semicolon, an apostrophe, okay, exclamation point. Let's go to the next one. How do I use each and every one of them? Let's start with a comma. I think we should take a break for a second. So normally a comma comes in the middle of the sentence to have a break to divide between 2 phrases. So one sentence but 2 phrases, okay? Next one, I think we should stop altogether. So this is a full stop. I use it to end the sentence, at the end of the sentence. Very good. The question mark, and it's a funny one. What are you guys talking about? So most probably it's a question, like if I say, how are you, my dear student? Or do you like to eat breakfast now? For example, I'll be using a question mark. And the last one I have, a capital letter. Don't forget to use me when necessary. So sometimes I have to use capital letters, and I will show you in a minute when is that. Okay, when do we use capital letters, my dear student? I need your full attention now. We use capital letters for names. Ahmed, it starts with capital A. Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, the names of the street, the cities, the malls, it starts with a capital letter. Very good. Next one I have months. January, February, Ramadan, Shawwal start with the first letters capital. Days of the week, at the beginning of the sentence, always start with a capital letter, and after full stop. So at the beginning of a new sentence, and also don't forget to use capital with I if you are talking about the pronoun I am. And let's have some exercises now. You have this at your book at page 15. We have a punctuate and write. We have a capital letter, full stop, comma, question mark, and apostrophe. So let's start with number 1. As you can see, we have some mistakes at number 1. We need to punctuate them. Okay, we need to put the correct, let's start with the first one. He is a Muslim. What do you think? What do you think? I should start first of all with a capital letter. Very good. He is Muslim. Very good. He is Muslim. Don't forget to use. Let me try to rewrite it one more time. He is full stop. Okay, number 2. That, and I have S, his office. I will start with a capital T. That's very good. I must have a comma here. That's his office. Very good. Full stop. Okay, so here I have a capital letter and a comma and full stop. Are they teachers? Capital A. Are they teachers? So now what do you think? Shall I put a full stop or a question mark? Because it's a question, I'll be using a question mark. No, they aren't. Okay, I will start with a capital N. They aren't. So in this sentence, I have a capital, a comma, apostrophe, and a full stop. Make sure you are writing them correctly, and let's go to the next one. So I need your help with this one. I saw a rainbow today. Let's punctuate this together. Yes, I will have a capital I saw a rainbow today. And I should use a full stop. Very good. It had many colors. I will start again with capital. It had many colors. Okay, number 3. Do you see the rainbow? Question mark. Okay. The rainbow is pretty. Is pretty. Full stop. Very good. So these are how to punctuate sentences. So let's try to remember what we learned in this lesson, my dear student. We learned some adjectives and we gave the opposite of these adjectives. Like what? Like old, the opposite is new. Like poor and rich, start, finish, sunrise, sunset. Also, we remember together the wonderful, touching story of Prophet Ibrahim and his son Prophet Ismail when we are honor and show respect every single year at the Hijjah, because we are doing what Prophet Ibrahim did. Okay. Also, we learn how to punctuate sentences by using capital, full stop, comma, question mark. So that was our lesson. Until I see you next time, stay safe. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.